like that?
You devil! You fool! You fool!
You run and tell your husband that
Hello everybody, I'm Coco Cosmos and I wasn't gonna make a video about this movie because it was so bad, but I changed my mind because of this.
See you come to the market every Tuesday like clockwork. You not gonna say anything?
No, actually I'm not.
Kinda like a bitch like your daughter.
Watch your mouth. I'm a woman of God. Oh, you crazy?
You think I'm a motherfucking fool? Huh?
Boy, get your hands off me!
Run and tell your husband that shit.
You fool! You devil! You fool! You crazy! You fool! You fool! You devil! You fool!
And what the fuck you looking at?
This movie is pure comedy, and that's unfortunate because that's clearly not supposed to be the vibe. Another thing is, I'm not gonna break down every bit of this movie, just core moments, because Mr. Perry has this thing where the movie starts dragging and dragging, and the lines are repeated like none of the characters have any listening skills or brain cells. Therefore, I'm gonna try to trim some of that out. He's a billionaire, by the way, with a B. Without further ado, here's my take. This movie is awful. Recently, Mr. Perry did an interview calling a selection of black people uppity Negroes, and saying that we don't choose whose story gets told. Here's the thing. All his damn movies focus on a black woman suffering in some sort of way, whether it be because of DV, divorce, poverty, marital issues, SA. Yes, these things happen more often than we would hope, but Jesus Christ, can he write one movie where black people can be average? Or better yet, just rich and happy? Like, is there any movie that's written that does not include the suffering of black women? There's never any joy in his movies. And no, the Medea movies don't even count, because even then there's always something. And Medea is put in for comedic effect. It's like when any movie that's centered around black people is made, and it has to have slavery or some form of racism involved. And that shit gets boring. It's not all black movies, but enough that it's noticeable, you know? And we're still watching, which is insane actually. We are handing this man money to play in our faces at this point. And even then, if he wants to make movies about black trauma, why is black man trauma never discussed? Like, literally, in my other video, Byron got told that he was a product of assault and his sister was actually his mom over a random Sunday dinner. He's asked if he's okay and we just simply don't talk about it anymore. Like, no, that man needs therapy ASAP Rocky. Like, that is simply something we cannot gloss over. Anywho, on with the movie. So it opens to a funeral. Apparently, the deceased was a part of a family that the entire town hates. The Bertrands. For good reason. They're a family of menaces, been terrorizing the town for as long as anyone can remember. The deceased died because he was trying to rob a senior citizen and they shot him for it. The pastor says as such, and during the sermon, he said he was definitely looking up at them right now. The mom gets angry and blames this girl here. This is Ava, the pastor's daughter and also married to one of her sons. There's a whole argument in the church. She starts cussing, and everybody gasps in horror.
Let me get the hell out of here before I say what's on my mind.
The pastor then brings up that they were paying for the funeral and the burial out of the kindness of their hearts. Well, she didn't like that. Was sick of everybody looking down on the Bertrands. She literally took off her dress in front of all those people and God, then told her sons to get their brother out of the casket. Now, when I first saw this, I didn't think it was the right movie. There was absolutely no way. I was crying, bro. Now, why was it ever as serious to lift the body and load it up in the back of a pickup raw? Not to mention, dude left his wife at the church. This is Rona. She never liked Ava's husband. She's very sensible. Actually, probably one of the only characters in this entire movie that has any sort of sense. This is Jim, the best friend to Dallas. He's an enabler. That dude left his wife at the house because he's mad about the funeral thing. By the way, they kind of just buried the body raw in their yard. So Ava finds her husband at the local bar with his brothers, and like 2 of the 3 are making things worse and blaming her for taking their brother out of the country to the big city. There's one that's somewhat reasonable and tells them to relax. She leaves and ends up running into an old friend. This is Benji. Dallas and his brothers beat the brakes off him so bad back in high school that they put him in the hospital just for talking to Ava. No lessons were learned, it seems. But since Benji is big now, he says he can hold his own. And look whose drunk ass decides to come out and test that theory. It becomes a thing, and the bar owner decides to shoo them away. Dallas's drunk ass should not be operating a vehicle right now, and puts up a fight to do so anyways. His brother makes him submit now, and they drive away. Dallas is sitting on the bathroom floor crying, and admits to committing a, But Girly doesn't seem to get it? New day. Bro doesn't want to talk about that thing he admitted to while he was drunk, and we move on. Her friend's talking mad shit about Dallas and tries to knock some sense into her. So Dallas and Ava have dinner plans with their friends, and Dallas leaves his wife at home because she was quote-unquote taking too long. Her friend is concerned, but Ava says she's not upset, so don't be upset for her. When she gets sat, Dallas immediately starts acting an ass in this nice restaurant.
Jim, black women ain't... Man, when last time these women supported us?
Then states that he wants a divorce.
Fuck y'all looking at?
His friend tries to coo him, or whatever the fuck, but Dallas leaves. She ends up going to stay with her parents. But before she leaves, her friend gives her a list of things that Dallas has done to her. Her mom finds this list, 4 pages, mind you, after Ava went on a run and they have a heart-to-heart. Bro has spit on her. Me personally! You know what? Never mind. Her dad brings her to the local supply store where they run into Benji! He tells Ava it was set up right away.
Snitch!
Dad kinda lays it on a bit thick too. Ava's dad is giving a sermon that seems a bit too personal to be a coincidence. Look who it is again! He tries to mac on her, but she's not having it. They're watching some home movies when they get to Ava's wedding day.
She gonna do what make your life miserable.
It becomes a speech on how her father never taught her to let a man treat her like less than, and that she's amazing. Ava starts doing things she likes again, like running, and, enjoying life. Her parents take her to the carnival, and oh look, Benji again. This time with his daughter, and some petting zoo animals. He drops his daughter off to her mom, and Benji and Ava have some adult hangout time, sitting in the back of his pickup and drinking.
We can just go on like this.
She says that she wants to take it further, but Benji declines because she's drunk. A gentleman. Then she goes back home the next morning. What's crazy is it's supposed to be daytime now, but it still has the same lighting. It still very much looks like nighttime. Dallas's brothers are instigating again and sent him a photo of Benji and Ava talking, saying that she was clearly cheating on him the entire time, even though he's the one that asked for a divorce. So he comes to her job and causes a ruckus. I promise you, there is nothing funny about someone coming to your job and embarrassing you, and doing all of this buffoonery. There's absolutely nothing funny about harassment, But the things he said had me rolling, bro.
Do you want to lose your job, bitch? And I'll slap your nose off.
This man is mad she came to sign the divorce papers and is treating him like he treated her. Ava gets a surprise divorce party, and guess who's camping outside drunk? Jim makes him go away, and Dallas thinks he's in cahoots on the cheating. Benji takes Ava back home, and she offers up her guest room, and he makes it pretty clear that he wants her, and that guest room won't suffice. Well, Ava makes it clear that it will only be sleeping together. He could not accept fast enough. They have a passionate night, and guess who's sitting in the kitchen eating cereal? Nothing about this situation is funny, I swear. This man is deranged. But what? He didn't fix an entire bowl of cereal, and no one heard that. No banging around in the cabinets for the bowl, no box of cereal rattling around. Come on, ain't no way. So he said he's coming back to his house and that the divorce thing didn't happen. And that he told his family that she's his wife, and that's that. Ava basically told him that he's made his bed and to get out. Well, he's not accepting and heads upstairs where he finds Benji and they get into it. It ends with Benji choking out Dallas. Then Ava nuts up and drags his unconscious body out of the door, and it's kinda uncomfortable to watch. Benji puts him in his truck, still unconscious, and Ava slams the door on him so hard that it cracks the window? Is it made of breakaway glass? Dallas has learned nothing, because he's sitting outside of the bank right now. Rhoda tells her husband to come get him and talks to Ava. Gives her some sound advice. To be fair, a restraining order really won't stop someone from trying to hurt you, but it's documented at least. Dallas has poisoned all of Benji's animals, and that truly hurt my feeling. Ava's dad hears that dangerous miscreant was in her house, and the cops are useless. Jim gets Dallas to leave the bank, but not before saying,
Fuck you, okay?
Jim is still babying him, even after hearing about the animals.
Let me just try to talk to him one more time. I'm not saying don't get the restraining order. I'm saying let me just try to talk him down.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Dallas approaches Ava's mom at the grocery store aggressively, even putting hands on her.
And what the f you looking at?
You see it? I'm there. You see it? Look at my
Me personally, I would have clucked him with a can of soup, but moving on. Ava's dad has set her up with cameras and weapons. Smart move. Dallas has come to his friend's house where everyone was just hanging out and he's disturbing the peace. Turns out, Jim cheated on Rona once, but they already worked it out. So Dallas tries to make things worse, and this is the first time we hear Ava raise her voice at him. He eventually leaves though. Ava's dad is bad about Dallas putting his hands on his wife, so he collects one of his guns to go confront him. Her mom calls her because she's terrified that he's gonna get hurt, so she and Benji head that way. Her dad ended up getting jumped though. He in fact did not stand on business.
Who gonna raise their eyes up in hell now, preacher?
Still them? They just beat up a senior citizen. Ava and Benji get an ambulance to him, and he's in the hospital where the cop is still useless. Ava has decided she's gonna handle it, and baits Dallas into coming back to her house. He decides that she's about to be showed. They get into a kerfluffle, to which Dallas leaves enough evidence for a self-defense argument. She handled it. They went from 5 to 3 quickly, and Ava tells them to leave them alone if they don't want to lose more. Once again, this movie sucks so bad. Narcissism and staying in abusive, failing marriages is a serious-ass topic. It should not make me laugh. I've probably seen hundreds of movies in my life. So of course, I've seen enough with those topics worked into the plot. With the way it was written and portrayed here, I could not feel more disconnected. It's like he knows we'll watch whatever he puts out, so he doesn't even have to make it good anymore. He's made his money, so he's stopped trying and tries to cover it up with decent and big-name actors and actresses. Like in Acrimony, I was fed up with Melinda, but I was fed up with Robert Moore. In Diary of a Mad Black Woman, everybody still thinks the actor for Charles is the villain IRL. We cheered when he got his comeuppance. We felt something. Dallas's ending is just so anticlimactic. It feels like there was supposed to be this buildup of Ava growing a backbone that just didn't come out. But what do y'all think? Did y'all watch this train wreck? Let me know in the comments below. Coco Cosmos out.